Welcome to the talk show with your host, yours truly, Jason Takhtadjian. Today I'm joined by a very special guest and my very good friend, Tatevik Hovhannisyan. Tatevik, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing good. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but that's a good thing. You know, we're all just very busy with whether it's work here, whether it's work with you, just Fresno and everything that's going on in the city of Fresno is just really exciting just to see. But it's keeping us busy and we're not able to see each other that much. We only really connect either over the phone or just like over social media, really.
Social media.
Yeah. So tell me, how have you been and what's going on with you?
I have been good. Super busy because it's busy season for everyone before the holidays.
Yes.
What do you want me to tell you? Work?
I want you to tell the folks at home, who are you? Essentially, what work do you do and how are you kind of connected with the Fresno community like that?
Absolutely. I'm Tatevik.
As you guys can see right down there, or actually the side, right there. Yes.
So when I was 14, I was born and raised in Armenia. When I was 14, we moved here, and I've lived in Fresno since 2006, so it's going to be about 20 years. Wow. I work in events. I'm an events professional, and I mainly work with nonprofits. So I started my events career at an organization called Downtown Fresno Partnership, which is an organization that works on downtown revitalization, making our urban core more active, more family friendly, because as we know, it's been going through it for some time. And then currently I work at the Fresno Chamber of Commerce. I'm their events manager. I oversee their 5 signature events, and also I am the program coordinator for a program called Leadership Fresno, which is an incredible program. I can talk about it for ages. Like I can talk about it forever. And so, I love Fresno. I'm one of the people that absolutely loves Fresno and thinks it's a very special place. I'm also really active in my downtown revitalization community, where I just like always speak like positively about downtown, try to support everything in downtown. Very involved in the Armenian community because that's just like the one and only love of my life. Yes. That's how I put it. So yeah, that's me.
In a nutshell, that's you. So I mean, I guess like let's unpack this like from the beginning to the end, right? Yeah. Because you did say a lot of things there as far as like what you're involved with, right? But it's very to me it's really impressive as well, because you said you were born in Armenia and you moved to Fresno almost like next year would be 20 years for
20
you.
Years, yeah.
And just tell me what that was like, because I think if I'm not mistaken, you were from Gyumri, right?
I was from Gyumri.
Yes, but both my parents are from there, so like my family is all basically from there, so it's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a very proud Gyumretsi. For anyone that knows me, I love the fact that I'm from Gyumri. It's a very beautiful town. People have the best sense of humor. Like it's the best.
Yes, I know.
And yeah, we moved from there when I was 14. And it was hard because I went to a French school and I didn't speak English. I absolutely spoke no English. The only thing I could say was I don't understand English. And imagine, they taught me. They were like, if anyone approaches you, just tell them.
just tell them I don't speak English.
I don't speak English. And so basically I went to Bullard High School, which back then was populated by a lot of Armenian students, and there were a lot of Armenian teachers. So that was really helpful, even though it was scary, but I overcame that. And then I went to Fresno State, which, I always say I hated Fresno. I resented Fresno when I just moved here because I was like, out of all the beautiful American cities, my dad decided to. Yeah, so I literally was like, why? But then after going to Fresno State, kind of meeting people and just understanding kind of how Fresno works and like what the pride of Fresno is, and just understanding it kind of made me realize, like, since I'm stuck here, I mean, I wasn't stuck there. Yeah. But even though, like, after, like, I thought I was gonna leave Fresno, like, after graduating, but I I think it was like my second or third year at Fresno State, I kind of started being interested in like the history of Fresno, like where everything started. And I think like you probably learned about this, about Fresno, how it's so Armenian.
Yeah.
It's such an Armenian town. And so I think that kind of like made me inspired to kind of start being interested in it and like it. And so I started being interested in like the downtown and just, I don't know, it just worked out. Like I never thought, if you were to ask the 20-year-old Tatevik right now on how much she loves Fresno, like she'd be like, you're crazy, you don't. You're not supposed to. And so, I just fell in love with it. Because I met people that were so passionate about it, and I learned things about it that made me want to be passionate about it.
I was gonna ask you, like, was there any specific person or maybe a specific day or event that specific, like maybe that wasn't a day that like it completely turned you upside down, but that was like where it snapped, where you're starting to get like, oh, this is why people love this area.
I think it was not so specific. It was because of my internship. So downtown Fresno, so the last semester of my program at Fresno State was, I had to take a semester of internship. And so I remember, like, this is a long story, but basically when we were like in college, we would come to this pub in downtown Fresno called Peeps Pub. And back then, downtown Fresno was not as active. This was in 2014, I think, 2014, 2013. And there was only Peeps Pub on Fulton and Merced, and then 5 blocks to the south was Tioga Sequoia.
Yeah.
And like when you look at Tioga Sequoia, it's big right now. Like back then, Tioga Sequoia was just that front part. So what we would do is we would like, and it was dark. Like Fulton like that mall was dark. So we would like get out of Peeps Pub and we would walk to Sequoia, Tioga Sequoia. And I think like walking and seeing all the buildings and just like understanding that this place was beautiful and it had history, and then sometimes seeing like Armenian names on these buildings, I was like, oh my gosh, like an Armenian person built it, or like, you know, an Armenian person owns it. I think like that also got me to be interested. And it definitely was Downtown Fresno Partnership that kind of made me love Fresno, because through them, I met this big community that was just working on making Fresno better. And I just got inspired because there was so much creativity, so much struggle, so much like willingness to work hard to make it better. And so I think it was just overall my internship and just downtown itself. Like I just love the history of it and
that is so
the
neat.
People in it that were passionate about it.
That's really neat. That's really neat. I mean, when you first moved, and I want to talk like really back a little bit, because when you first moved from Armenia to the United States and you're in Fresno, you said that you went to Bullard and there were Armenian students there, which I'm sure it helped. But what was like the culture shock for you whenever you moved from Armenia to the US? Forget like not even just school, but just overall life in general, being out in public. What were the things that you were like, I'm not used to that at all?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so many things. People completely, I think like I always say that when you like immigrate from a different country, like you don't just learn how to talk the language that people talk, you learn how to walk like them. Like you crawl, like first of all you crawl and then you start walking like them. You know, it's like the entire process. And it's completely different, right? Like for me, I mean, the way people dressed was different. The way people thought was different. The fact that there was no one in the street was mind-blowing to me, because in Armenia, we walk everywhere. And so looking outside the window and just not seeing anyone walk.
A lot of people driving instead of walking.
A lot of people driving. And sometimes I would just like get out of our house and like drive to Target or like CVS, and like people would like stop and they would be like, do you need help? Like, and it was so weird to me. Like I mean, I was walking when it was like 100 degrees outside.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Maybe that's why people are like, but also like, I think people are not used to seeing others walk. And I was not used to not seeing, like, it felt like it was just like, I don't know. It felt like there was no one living in this town. So that was weird. I don't know. Like a lot was weird. Like that
seems
I
like
can't
a very
think about.
that seems like a very European shared thing, or maybe not even just European.
Yes.
Anywhere outside of the United States,
Yes.
that's what people just are just so shocked when they come to this country and they see how people live. They're like, oh my God, you guys live so far away from each other. Things are so
Yes.
far away. Like your work is 10 miles away. That's a whole nother dialect in a different country.
I know,
You know,
it's another town.
it's a whole language, a different language. Literally, in Europe, you go 15 miles this way, you'll go in a different country.
Yes.
And that's the thing that, I guess is difficult for people from that country to kind of accept initially. But, over time, I'm sure, you get more used to that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I love my car and driving and this and that.
Yeah.
But even for me, I wasn't born in Armenia. I'm Armenian, but I love walking and I like going to places like that because it's just nicer. And also Fresno is nicer. And around this time of year, whenever we have the rain and it cools things down and the greenery's coming out, I think it's awesome.
It's
especially
the best.
Towards North Fresno. Oh, I love it.
It's beautiful. That's why I love working in downtown Fresno, because that's the only place you see people walk, because people just park and walk around everywhere. And so I always say I always want to work where my office is in downtown. That way I don't lose that kind of because that's where I feel like I live in a town, right? Everywhere else I have to go walk my dog, but everything is I can't walk to a store. I have to walk so much. But
Everything's just so spaced out in the U.S.
So spaced out.
We have such a large country that people don't realize.
Oh, yeah. That's why people don't even travel within America, because of how big it is. It's going to another country.
You gotta fly. I know a lot of people like to make the argument of, oh, we should learn from Japan and get all those high-speed rails and this and that. Well, I'm sorry.
We're
Where's
so
the high-speed rail here in California, first of all? Second of all, the geography of this country doesn't allow for just easy trains to just be put.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a train from LA to Chicago. Do you understand how many mountains you have to go through? How many time zones you're going through?
Exactly.
And it's just, I don't know.
It's big. We don't realize
huge.
how big our country is. It's incredibly big. So I think that's what, it was a culture shock, definitely.
Yeah.
Everything is different. If I get into the nitty gritty, every single thing is different about America.
Well, you said the way that people dress. So I want you to talk about that a little bit. Just how do people dress in Armenia compared to the U.S. specifically? What stood out to you that and it's okay to be honest, because we all have our thoughts about how certain people dress, and then you just grow to understand and accept. But sometimes your initial human reaction to certain people is whoa, I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before.
I know. It's more casual. It's more casual, because in Armenia you would even when I go. Okay, so I dress like an American now. I don't dress like an Armenian anymore.
But I still think you're still formal enough, casual, formal enough.
Yeah.
There's some people that'll go shopping and there's flip flops without socks on and a hoodie and
pajamas.
They just got out of the bed or something, or got out of the gym, and you know what? I've done that once. I've gotten out of the gym and I had to go to Vons real quick afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think people, when they go out of their house, they treat it more like a bigger deal. So they dress up, they want to look good and stuff.
Yeah.
Here it's more about I gotta get things more casual and whatever. So sometimes people don't necessarily care.
Yeah, but I also understand why. I'm not saying it's people don't care, but also I think it's because it goes going back to walking. I think people walk everywhere and they have to take the public transportation. Whereas here, we hop in our cars and no one really sees us, right? We'll just go, we're probably not going to even see anyone at the store. So we can go in our sweats.
That's right, because the store is 5 miles away or something like that.
So you're just driving there and you're not going to see anyone that you know. And I think that's why it is. But it was definitely such a culture shock, because in Armenia, you were not allowed to go to work if you were not wearing 6-inch heels, and the girls would walk on the not very paved streets on their heels. And so coming here and now I only wear sneakers and flats and stuff like that. And so I think that was such a culture shock. It was weird, how kids were dressing in schools, and it was just a completely different thing. And I am more American now because I'm so used to it. And it's the opposite now. When I go visit Armenia, I feel so underdressed. I feel like I have to just level up a little bit because everyone is so beautiful there.
When was the last time you were in Armenia?
This summer.
This summer.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to ask you this question about that, and I'm glad you brought it up because my mom, you know, she was also born in Armenia, but now it's gotten to the point where she's lived in the U.S. way longer than she has in Armenia.
Yes.
And when she goes back to Armenia, it's very different because of the Americanization. And now people in Armenia are like, oh, you're so Americanized. And she's like, what do you mean? People in America think that I'm very Armenian.
Yes,
and there's like that balance. Like, so what would you say? Where are you at when it comes to that?
No, I'm very Americanized. People think so. I mean, like the way we think, the way we dress, the way we act, everything. I'm very Americanized. My friends, my childhood friends they don't laugh at me. I always say they laugh with me because when I speak Armenian, it's so embarrassing. When I speak Armenian, I have an accent, and it's not so much of an accent. I guess like I roll my R's differently. And I don't.
At least you can. If I try to roll my R's, I can't do it.
I always
can't
go, like, because in English we have to do, and so my friends will always like repeat what I say, and so it just makes me, and then like sometimes I can't even say an entire sentence in like fully Armenian, which is so embarrassing because I lived there for 14 years. But yeah, I have changed so much. And like, I always think about it. Like when I came here and I was a 14-year-old, I thought I was already developed. And there were so many things where I would be like, oh my gosh, I'll never think that way, or I'll never do this. Like there were so many nevers.
And then as time progresses.
And then time progressed, and I was realizing how like mentally, like I was like, oh my gosh, I am changing. Like I am starting to think differently, like I did, you know? And so, I'm very different, but I'm so blessed that like the people I'm surrounded with in Armenia are so accepting of me. Like they love me for who I am, no matter if I'm the Americanized Tatevik or like the very Gyumreti Tatevik, the 14-year-old. But it's different.
And I'm glad you said that because I feel like there's a stigma when people visit Armenia from some people where they're like, oh, they look at you a certain way. And I never experienced that when I was in Armenia. Like, I wouldn't say my Armenian's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I would say it's good enough to have conversations and I understand very well. And I would have conversations with everybody in Armenia, like Syrian Armenians, Karabakhchi Armenians that were driving the Yandexes and stuff like that. And I would like apologize, being like, "Hey, I'm sorry about my accent, or I'm sorry that I'm like taking time to think about what word I have to say." And they're like, "Don't worry." Like in Armenian, obviously, they'd be like, "Don't worry. We're so happy that you're even trying. There's people in this country alone that don't even speak the language."
I know.
And I'm like, whoa, like what do you mean? What does that mean? You're telling me like I'm doing a good thing? And they're like, yeah, because like you feel like embarrassed or you feel like obviously pressure whenever you're in a new country to speak the language and try to like have that conversation with them. But then they just like love it whenever you even just try, when you just attempt it. And that's just so cool. I love it.
Those conversations were my favorite too, like in taxis, just I mean, and like they tell you like Syrian Armenians or like anyone that kind of like immigrated into Armenia back, and like even their dialects, how like it was hard for them to kind of get used to the dialect, and like people in Armenia not understanding Syrian Armenians, like it's
and that was stuff like the Haleptis, you know, Barskahais, all that type of stuff. Like I know that there's like a kind of like a misunderstanding between the two when it comes to the language. But I feel like it's still like something that you can understand, like as long as you apply yourself to it. It's like, oh, do you want Hayastansi Armenian, or do you like Eastern Armenian or Western Armenian? And like for me, like I was raised both ways. And that's part of the reason why I don't think I'm like necessarily fluent in either. But I'm good enough in both to be able to understand both. I have to take a second to code switch sometimes and be like, depending on who I'm talking to, it's vonses or inchpeses. Hello, how are you in Eastern or Western Armenian? Like,
you know what's really something interesting, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, and I'm sure you can talk about this with your mom. I have such an easier time understanding Western Armenian, and Western Armenian speaking people understand me easier when I speak in Gyumreti dialect.
Yes, my mom 100%. My mom was like gravitated more towards like the Western Armenian side of things, because she just, like you said, she understands it. They understand it better, and like she just likes the people too.
Yeah, I mean, I love all my Armenians.
Yeah, I love all my Armenians
of
too.
them.
I mean,
They're the best.
I feel like I still am closer to my eastern side.
Yeah.
Like just because, you know, I love it. But at the same time, like I feel like I'm also close to my western side. I don't want to like pick and choose you know, oh, they put the western over the eastern because we're all Armenian at the end of the day. Just because we speak a different way. Like, okay,
It's
cool. West Coast Americans make fun of Bostonian accent. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, we're all American, right?
Yeah.
And we're all in like the same country. For me, that's the same way that it should be applying when it comes to Armenians, Western and Eastern.
Yeah.
And I hope it changes.
I mean, I hope so too. It is. I think like when I just moved here, there was like I would always have these conversations where it's like, no, Western Armenian is the correct Armenian, and then the Hayestansis would be like, no, Eastern Armenian is the correct one. Yeah. I'm like, how can we like accept the fact that both of them can be correct ones? You know,
they
like,
both can be correct. We're both Armenian, and the fact of the matter is there's not much of us in this entire planet to begin with. So why do we need to divide ourselves? It's like we're dividing ourselves to what? A couple 100,000 here, a couple 100,000 there, a million here, a million there. Like we're all getting divided in this type of stuff when it's like, bro, there are other countries that have hundreds of millions of people on the same page, and we want to like expect to have that sort of like, you know, respect or whatever. Like, exactly. I don't know. Anyway, it's a whole spiel. I want to. We can wrap it back in. Let's reel it back in because I do want to talk a little bit more about your career and what you're doing right now because you said that you work with the city, and I want you to dive into that because you said right now is event season.
Oh my gosh,
like so many things going on. So tell us what's going on in Fresno.
Going on. So at the Chamber of Commerce, we put together 5 events in which the 3 of them fall into the fall. So we just wrapped. What?
Fall into the fall.
Fall into the fall. Oh, I didn't even realize I did that. So I just wrapped up State of the County, which is an incredible event that brings together like everyone in our community to kind of figure out what's going on in our county. So every year, the chairman of that year of the Board of Supervisors holds a State of the County. And we had a really good event this year. It had about 1,200 people at the convention center. And so I planned, organized that. KC24 actually broadcasted it. It was wonderful. My next adventure is a golf tournament that I'm planning on Halloween. It's called Mo Bagunu Memorial Golf Classic. It's going to be at Dragonfly, so I'm planning that right now. Like, all these events that I plan are so different from each other. Yeah. So I love that about my career, that, like, every day is it's not the same. There is not one day that is the same because I plan different events and they come with different challenges and different like surprises and stress factors and like excitement and stuff like that. So golf is really fun to plan because it's just the sky's the limit with golf tournaments. Like, you can do anything you want.
And that's a great thing about our like jobs too, is that every day is unique. Like, as a reporter, I don't even know what's gonna happen today, or you know, sometimes you do, but then like things happen and then you have to change it up, and every day is different. And I think that freshens it up and makes work feel like less of work.
Less of work, more of like something you're passionate about. And I think because I love kind of connecting people in Fresno and like just connecting everything, like bringing community together. I love that portion of my job where like I can like sit back and be like, oh my gosh, I did this. There's like 1,200 people sitting and wanting to learn what's going on in their community and like what they can be proud of, and highlighting some like county workers and you know, that have done incredible work. So going back, after golf, my next project is Ag Awards, which is actually one of my favorites to plan because no matter who I interact with, the people in the agricultural industry are like the best. Like, they're the best people. So this event, we highlight like agriculturalist of the year and agribusiness of the year. So that event is like just celebration of everything ag in our community and the incredible people that make this industry beautiful. So that's going to be on November 14th. So I'm planning that. And I'm also overseeing Leadership Fresno, which is it's a 9-month program where every month the cohort meets, and it's been going on for 40 years now. It's older than me. But basically, there's a cohort of leaders that come together who are interested in learning about Fresno, which is like perfect for me because I love like learning everything about Fresno and like making people learn, teach people about Fresno. So basically, they learn about a different industry every month, and so I oversee that too. So I work on that portion. But yeah,
you got a lot going on.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on. Like you said, it's a season of like planning everything, and it's really cool to see because I want to see Fresno grow, and it's people like you who help make it grow because you bring these community events together and bring all these people together and highlight them or just give them a reason to have a good time. That's really kind of what it comes down to.
If I can make like a little bit of change, like even if it's like 2%, like even if I can like change like 2 people's minds that like Fresno's actually great. Like you just have to learn to love it and find events and like find restaurants, find little businesses that like have delicious foods and stuff like that. Like if I can just do that little, I think I'll be happy.
Yeah, and I think you are doing a really good job at it too because once I moved to Fresno, you were one of the first few people that I became friends with. Yeah. And, it is actually through you that I got to like learn a little bit more about Fresno, the county itself, the city itself, just everything that's going on as well. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see kind of what you've been part of.
I'm so happy to hear that because it makes me so happy that like people can actually hear me. I'm like very crazy. Like I try to post a lot on my social media where I'll be like, oh, I went to this cafe. Like I'm not an influencer, but I think like for all like my friends that follow me, I like to just like show them what's good. And I always get like 1 or 2 people that are like still moving away, still hate it, and I'm like, okay, like
They sound bitter. Like they sound like they had like a specific thing that happened to them that has nothing to really do with Fresno.
What happened? Who hurt you? Let me find them.
Come here.
Come here.
There. But Fresno, it's grown on me. I'll be honest with you.
I'm so happy.
It has grown on me, and I do really like the community. I like the fact that it's a quiet but a big town.
Yeah.
Like it's still you got 500,000 people in Fresno. What was it, like 1.4 million in the entirety of Fresno County? But like it still feels like a quiet town where like if you want the non-quiet part of town, you can still go and there's things going on, especially on weekends.
Yeah.
But especially because like I was in Iowa for 3 years for my first TV job, I got used to like the quietness and things closing at 10 o'clock at night, which don't get me wrong, I was very annoyed by.
I am still annoyed by it. Like,
I'm still annoyed by it.
Yes.
And it's like I want to give you my business. Like we'll keep it going. But I like it. I enjoy it. And if I want to go to the big city, I got a 2.5, 3 hour drive either north or south.
Yeah.
And if I want to go to the beach, I got a 2 hour drive to the west. And if I want to go see some beautiful parks, I got an hour drive to the east. Like I got everything in my vicinity if you're in Fresno.
Absolutely.
And Fresno itself has really good things. And I just think that there's way more potential for Fresno to grow. And I want to see it happen. I really do want to see it happen.
Yeah. I think like when I speak about downtown Fresno, like just downtown Fresno, when I think about it, like within the 10 years that I've been involved in like the revitalization and like all the like efforts to bring it back to life, it has come back to life. And if it wasn't for COVID, I think we would be like so much more ahead because COVID like affected the world.
Everybody.
So and so but like I'm telling you, in 2013 there was only 2 bars in downtown Fresno. Peepspa and Tioga Sequoia, right? Like there was only those 2 that we would go to. And now we have an entire brewery district. We have such an active brewery district with so many like breweries and spaces like bars and stuff. So I think it's growing and it's in a good place.
Absolutely. And just the sky's the limit. Just got to keep on moving forward. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. If this was a Joe Rogan podcast, I would go on and on and on. We talked for 3 hours, but I have a full head of hair, so that's not the case. So thank you so much for joining me, Tatevik. I really appreciate you coming by. I'd love if you ever want to come again to chat some more. I know there's a lot more that we could be talking about.
We'll speak about other aspects of my passions next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing what you do next.
Me too.
All righty. Thank you.